You heard Grace Lung introduce WorldSkills a bit earlier this morning and talk about the high-level vision and mission and the initiatives they're running on, in Africa and also internationally. Now we're going to introduce our next speaker, his name is Dario Pinto, and he's a skill competition manager at WorldSkills. And what that means is that he leads the organization of one of the skill categories, one of the competitions, namely mechanical engineering CAD. And as you can hear on the name, that has a very strong connection to Autodesk and of course then our event here today. And as it happens, I saw that there was a question asked in Samia's presentation about the mechanical engineering CAD WorldSkills competition, and whether, since we're focusing so strongly in this event on Fusion 360, what that implies for the other software that's being leveraged in this competition, Autodesk Inventor. So I'm just throwing that out. Maybe Dario will address a little bit of that in his presentation. Otherwise, we can come back after the presentation and I can add a few comments on that, but just wanted to say that. But let's now focus on introducing Dario. So Dario is joining us from Portugal, but he is the international manager of this skill competition. So we will be given a perspective also how this has worked in the African context and internationally, and particularly with this emphasis on the Autodesk part as well. So to tie it in all together. So Dario, it's a pleasure to have you with us. I'll hand over to you to take us through your presentation.
Thank you for the invitation. And what I'm trying to do in this presentation, in this seminar, is just to give you an information around what is WorldSkills and what is especially WorldSkills at mechanical engineering CAD. This is a skill that is almost since the beginning of the WorldSkills movement. And as you know, CAD, we need CAD for all the skills. So everybody needs a project. So that's the reason why we have a position that is quite important in the WorldSkills movement. And in one sentence is, our skills is very easy to assemble. We almost need a computer nowadays. So any country around the world can be part of this competition. Okay, I will keep moving with my presentation. So just a little second. So what we need to compete at this skill? This skill is quite easy to assemble. And as I'm going to show you through my presentation, we are going to refer a few topics, okay? What is our skill? What are the modules, the timetable, the software, and the equipment? So part by part, I'm going just to show you a little bit of it. This is a picture from our skill, okay? Nowadays, it has been growing a lot and is going, you are supporting every single country around the world in any competition, Asian competition, European competition, American competition, and recently we are promoting and supporting the African competition that happens at the beginning of this year. And I was involved in that, supporting all those countries. The idea is to spread the knowledge and share the knowledge with everybody. Moving a little bit forward, we need to explain first. There is lots of information at the WorldSkills website. You just need to create an account. Any person can create that account. After creating the account, you will have access to all the information. So, as you can see at the website of WorldSkills International, you can find the technical description. That is the document that explains what the skill is, okay? You can find test projects for all the skills, including the CAD, mechanical engineering CAD, from past competitions on the last, I believe like 10 competitions now, everything related with health and safety. Very important document, the infrastructure list is the list of all the equipments that are necessary to assemble the competition itself. You can find a workshop layout, how you can organize the space at the competition. Any competition has a plan, and that plan, it says, is like an agenda, what is going to happen in any day. You can see some of the examples of past competitions and some other resources for training and so on, okay? So keep in mind that all the information is available. You can get everything. You can prepare yourselves to become part of this competition, okay? You just need to get this information from the website. Our structure in mechanical engineering is divided in 4 modules. These 4 modules, we have module 1, 2, 3, and 4. They are separate, okay? So one day of competition, at the end of the day, the next day is not, there is nothing related with the first day and so on, third and fourth day, different areas. So what I'm looking for on the first day, it's the fulfillment of a design brief. We have some physical simulation, exploded view, photo rendering, and 3D printing. The second day, we work with mechanical fabrication. There we are looking for sheet metal, frame parts, fabrication drawings, and drawing views for presentation. So this is something that you find at the software. Currently, we moved to Fusion 360, but we're still using Inventor. So you have the possibility to choose between the 2 softwares. The truth is, we are moving, very strongly to Fusion 360 as the software that being used only at the competition. But we still have the possibility to work with Inventor. The module 3, we are talking about mechanical assemblies and detailed drawing. So we need to modelize parts, create some assemblies, some GD&T, okay, technical drawing, and some presentation. All these 3 days, they have 6 hours. The last day, module 4, is reverse engineering. And in there, we get a part, we create that part, we modelize it, and then we need to create a drawing for manufacturing when we need to put the tolerance and surface and some presentation 3D scanning. Just to clarify, on the first day when we were talking about 3D printing and the last day when we are talking about 3D scanning, we have sponsors that support the countries to have this kind of equipment at the competition. But we adapt. If we don't have this kind of equipment, we adapt, and we only need a computer and the support from Autodesk with the software. So in this point, and we have it. So at this point, what we did actually at the African Skills, we didn't use any 3D printing and we didn't use any 3D scanning, okay? Because it was the first competition, we started on that area, and with the resources that we found it was necessary for that competition. But there's an evolution, and probably we can use it for the next competition when it's going to be held. I don't know at the moment. So these modules, we can cover different areas like sheet metal parts, frame structures, welded parts and assemblies, mechanical parts and assemblies, some detailed drawing, functional animations, and photo rendering. This is an area that is growing a lot. So when you want to produce like an enterprise, an animation of the mechanism, to check if it is functional or not, and photo rendering when we want to promote a product for an enterprise or for the market. We have reverse engineering. Actually, we use parts that are on the market. So we need to make the reverse engineering because sometimes it is requested by the enterprise. It's a normal process, daily process in any enterprise. And we try to get a solution there is a design brief and we need to find a solution. New models are coming, new ideas are coming. This is what we are doing now. So we can do a combination of the models in every single, for any single day of competition, a combination of these areas. First day, module 1, 6 hours. That's what we do. 6 hours of competitions. We work with 3D models. This is an example of what is given to the competitors. Okay, so this is the data that is given, the layout, technical specifications, and design brief, and all the additional information to create our module, our request. So on this day, we want to the competitors to deliver functional assemblies, exploded views, physical animations using Autodesk Inventor Studio or in Fusion. It depends. The competitor has the possibility to choose what software you want to use. Okay. Then we expect to have those files modified and some animation to check and to prove that the mechanism is working. Okay. So second day, we move from mechanical fabrication. For this example, we give a structure, and on this structure there is welding parts, and we need to produce those 3D welds with the software. Just to refer that we give support to all participating countries in any area with text, with training, with certifications, with help from Autodesk. We are behind the scene before competition, during the competition, and after the competition. Okay. So we requested for them to introduce those informations on the drawing, having welds, frame parts, sheet metals, and animation with a full exploded or collapsing AVI. This is what is requested at the end. This is one of example, but the most part of this this equipment is given. We just need to assemble it. Okay, depending on the level of the competition, is step by step. And then when you arrive to WorldSkills, the level will be a little bit higher than the other competitions. When we move to module 3, so day 1, day 2, and day 3, there is 6 hours of competitions. We move more for assemblings, and we combine with finding some solutions also on this day. We wanted, for example, to find a solution from adaptation of a mechanism, and then we work with parts that is coming from the drawings and from the libraries. And at the end, we delivered like drawings, the solutions with G, D, and T, and some exploded view and nomenclature. So this presentation will be available to everybody, and any question, just let me know. I can explain a little bit more in detail what this is, this competition. Last day, we're working as an actual part this is from a car, from a motor, okay? And we have the competitors. We have the example now. They are using 3D scanners in here, and they are looking and putting the parts and using the 3D scanner to obtain the dimensions and then to create the model itself. As I said, this is something that can be implemented at the competition. When we were working like we did in WorldSkills Africa, we didn't use at all this equipment, but it's possible. Okay. And then at the end, we requested some dimensions, some tolerancing, some information on the component itself. So they need to reproduce the part that they received. Moving forward, we have a timetable. So our competitors, they know at any point what they are going to do. The breaks, the lunchtime, we divide it in groups. So all the information is shared with the competitors and with the experts at the competition, because always when we have a competitor, we have an expert also from the same country supporting, organizing, and also acting as a judge. The software that we use at the moment, Autodesk Inventor Professional, but as I said before, we are strongly moving to Autodesk Fusion because the market, it says to us that is moving forward. There's lots of enterprises who are using the Fusion 360, so we need to keep up with what is happening at the industry around the world, not only in our country or in some specific area. It's all across the world. We need to keep moving on that direction. This is the equipment that we use. This is a small example that is a competitor that the software that is using the 3D scanner and the 3D printer. This actually some brands that are supporting our competition. So we have our sponsors, and that those sponsors we can introduce to all countries for them to be a partner of your own country and support your competition locally or at Africa Skills or at any other level of the competition. Some information. We like to have a very good mood at the competition. So when we say, hey, if you go to the toilet, the time will not stop because this is a competition, but we take care of the competitors. So we have a very good mood during the competition. And when we want to say, hey, there is no extra computers allowed at the competition, well, we use many ways to do it and to keep all the competitors and the experts as a single team, as a family. So it must be a moment for them to remember, to say, yes, I've been 1 week competing, but it was a fantastic experience. That's what we want to hear from the competitors and the experts around the world when we organize a competition. So we have rules they need to follow, okay? But we needed to present them to everybody as something that is not like a competition is always hard, okay? But we need to have some time, special time at the competition. Another thing that we really reinforce at every competition is we need to share the information. We need to share the knowledge. So everybody learns from everybody. We learn from competitors. We learn from the other experts, what they do, what are their experience, what the model that they implement on their own countries. And another thing is, when you go to the WorldSkills website, you will have an area like this, and you can have like who is involved, competition registration, the documentation, meeting documents, and so on. All the information is available. Another thing for us, very important, is we always had the support from Autodesk, from training, from the software itself. You can get the software from the website. It's available, okay? Certification. If you have any doubts, Autodesk team is always available. It was for all these years. It was perfect in the last competition, the last WorldSkills competition, and Africa Skills also. So this is a partnership for a long time, and it works very well. If you have any doubts, you can also keep pushing and send information and ask me or the Autodesk team. You will have an answer for sure. Another thing is like then we get all the information from the competition and we deliver to everybody at the competition site. We can do it online, but we know then sometimes we have some problems for the people to get the information, access to information. So we deliver that at the competition. At that point, everybody goes home with all the information. Okay. Another thing very important is during the competition is we have a very fantastic team with people with a lot of experience and new coming countries. So we support each other. So there is an experience we need to remember. And sometimes there's some countries that when they arrive with jet lag, well, you just need to check all the guys on the back with one person that, well, they felt asleep. So we're a very good mood. But when we are working, you can see in here, there is some people making translation, especially Asian countries, they need it a lot. We have people that are really working, really focused, making a very professional work at the competition. Another thing is that team also is these are the groups of competitors. You can see how happy they are, but the competition, we have moments of training also. You can see on the right side, there is some training that happened at the competition about Fusion 360, okay? So he's not only competing, he's also learning, also sharing information. And this is for us the most important thing that we do at the WorldSkills. The competition, of course, but the spread the information and keep it available to everybody is one of our main focus. This is an example from the last competition in Africa. It happened in Namibia. It was the group that was competing with lots and lots. I was completely amazed by the number of visitors that we had at the competition, and with everybody supporting, we had experts explaining to the public, to the audience, what was our competition, and at the end, it was a very fantastic experience on the way that the countries they have grown during the competition itself. It was an unforgettable experience. So this is finalized my presentation. I'm available for all your questions, but with all the information that is available, I believe that you can easily assemble the competition in any country around the world, and I'm available to do it and to support anything that you need.
Thank you so much for your presentation and for being available. I know that our team will put your contact details in the chat box, and we encourage people to reach out. While you were presenting, there were two questions which maybe we can cover quickly. So one is, which countries in Africa did compete in mechanical engineering CAD? I believe you said, or I believe I saw on your screenshot, South Africa and Namibia, right? Were there any other countries?
And Kenya and Zambia. It was only 4, but you know, it was a first experience, okay? And it was quite interesting to see that during the competition there was lots of countries contacting, and maybe needed some more information, but during the competition there was already some other countries interested to be part of that competition. Yeah.
Perfect. And then we had a follow-up question from someone who I believe is part of the competition already about Inventor and Fusion 360, about switching between the two. I don't know if we can provide a detailed answer today, but I guess one input at least I can share on that is that we heard in the presentation here that there's quite a lot of support and training initiatives available. And I would say that that's probably the best advice to give, is that one can take advantage of those resources and activities. And once that's done, then it's logical to move to Fusion 360 if that's what makes sense for the participating team.
Well, at this point, what we are doing is, because we have been using Inventor for many years, we are giving the option for the competitors and the countries to choose which one of the softwares they want to use. The truth is, the modules itself, they are changing. For instance, there is one model that is reverse engineering. If you use Fusion, it will be a lot easier to process and to do that model, to answer that model if you use Fusion 360. So this is a transition, okay? So we are doing the transition now, but the models themselves, they will adapt. So it's possible, it will be possible to do with Fusion or with Inventor, but for sure we are moving for Fusion 360.
Perfect. And then just one final question. Someone is asking whether WorldSkills is an individual competition or a group competition or a team competition.
No, it's an individual competition. With the age limit is 21 years old. So the limit is always independent, and the competitors we have, they need to be at the competition working on their own. Actually, the test project is developed and it doesn't circulate. So when they arrive, they will have the first contact with the test project, because there is other skills that it is provided earlier, not in our skill. because we are working on a project. If we give the test project before, everybody will know the answers, and we don't want to test who does it faster. We want to test who does it smarter. Okay, so has the capabilities to do it. But it's an individual competition, and as I said, we can give all the support to any single country around the world if they need to.